Hello everybody, Chris here, and in this video I want to show you guys how you can apply visual effects or modifications to several video clips at the same time using what's called an adjustment clip layer. So you can think of an adjustment clip layer as a list of effects that you want to apply on top of whatever the underlying base video is. So if I put an adjustment clip layer onto video track 2 and I make changes to that adjustment clip, rather than adjusting the adjustment clip layer itself, it's going to take the video from video track 1 and put that through a series of filters in order to get the final result. The advantage of using the adjustment clip layer is that you're able to apply those effects to one or more clips at the same time by only making the changes once. In addition, the adjustment clip does not have to exist at the start and end points for those clips. So you could also have the adjustment clip, say, go from the start of our timeline to only halfway through the second cut. So because of those reasons, adjustment clips become a flexible way of changing the looks of multiple clips at the same time, rather than applying the effects to every clip manually. So to find the adjustment clip layer, we need to go over to the effects library, and in the toolbox there is a category over here called effects. So we drag the adjustment clip onto the timeline. By default, it's going to be 5 seconds. You can position it wherever you want, and you're welcome to expand the adjustment clip layer to as long as you need. So in this case, I want this adjustment clip layer to apply to all 3 of the clips in the timeline. So I'm going to make sure that the right edge of it lines up with the end of the right clip. So now if we expand the timeline a bit, you can see that the adjustment clip is there for the entire duration of our video. But you wouldn't necessarily have to make it that long. You could just have it be the first 2 clips if you wanted to, or something in the middle. So with the adjustment clip, you can edit things, and so with the adjustment clip, you're able to edit settings in the inspector pretty much in the same way you would with a normal clip. So if you wanted to, say, zoom in all of your clips at the same time, you could do that by increasing the zoom. And now if we go to the second clip, you can see that it's zoomed in, and the third clip as well. So any property that you can modify in the adjustment clip is going to apply to all of the underlying clips evenly. However, if you want to make things a little more interesting, you can go over onto the Fusion tab and edit the nodes of your adjustment clip layer. So if you haven't used Fusion before, what nodes allow you to do in Fusion is to take individual settings, connect them to each other in order to generate complicated effects. You can also just add one node in between media in and media out, which would be closest to applying something like an Instagram filter to your video. But because you can link multiple nodes for more complicated setups, you can do a lot more in DaVinci Resolve than you would on a simple mobile app. But for right now, let's try showing off something by having one node go in between media in and media out. So let's right-click and add tool, and we'll go down to something like Resolve Effects Color. And if we do chromatic adaptation, we could shift the temperature of all of the clips underlying the adjustment clip towards a certain direction. So if I wanted to make all of the clips appear hot in their color temperature, I can do that really easily here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect media in to chromatic adaptation as the input data that's feeding into this effect. And to do that, I'm just left-clicking and dragging an arrow line out of it and putting that where it needs to go. So now media in feeds into chromatic adaptation. So now all we would need to do for a pretty simple effect would be to change the target illumination from illuminant type standard illumination over to color temperature. So when we do this, we can adjust the Kelvin degrees of our video clips by shifting it either over to the left to make the video appear hotter, kind of like if you were looking at the sun, or you can make it look colder by shifting it over to the right, something like an Arctic feel. So because we're working on the adjustment clip in the Fusion tab, we actually have access to all of the frames that are sitting on top of the underlying video. So we can look at all 3 of the clips and how they would appear just by navigating on this timeline. And we can adjust the Kelvin temperature until we get it to where we want it to be. So to have it be really cold, we can leave it over here as 27,000 degrees Kelvin. Or we might decide we go the other direction. So pumping it down to about 3000 degrees Kelvin. And now with that simple change, the color feel is a lot more like a film that was shot on Mars rather than Earth. And so the main thing I want you guys to take away from this video is just that you can use the adjustment clip when you want to make changes to multiple clips in more or less the same way that you can adjust a single clip. So if I was to click on clips and go to one of the bottom clips, like the video 1 track here, the first clip, you can see that any of the other normal clips in the video still have access to the node editor, and you can apply the same effects manually to each clip in the video. So what you might actually want to do is do a combination where if you're sure that effect should be on all of your clips or a few of them, then you can leave that as an adjustment clip layer. And then if you want to just apply something specific to one clip, then you can just select that clip and add in the effect you might want for that particular one. So for instance, just something really quick here, you could add in a blur, and all we need to do is make sure that the media in connects into that and to media out, and now our video clip has a glow. And now if we click over on the adjustment clip layer over here, you can see that the second and third clips don't have that glow, but the first one clearly does. So really what it all comes down to is, to what scope do you want to use an effect? If do you want to reuse it a lot, then adjustment clips become a good tool. And one more thing I can point out here is that you can actually cut up your adjustment clip into several parts. So you could have the effect applied to the first clip and the third clip, but not necessarily the one in the middle. And that could be another trick if you want the same effect, but they're in different points in the video. So that's going to be just about it for this quick tutorial on adjustment clips. I just wanted to show you guys how you can save some time by having one effect applied to multiple clips in your video at whatever times you need them. So I hope that helps you guys out there. I've been Chris, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my future video content.